The UIA is really trying to be a public experiment. We're doing some hard things. They're scary. They're terrifying. Some of it's working, some of it's not. We've been trying to share that with you. We tried to create an event where it wasn't about us, where it was about creating space for you to come together and to develop your own communities of practice and to find your tribe. We believe that our culture is really being reinforced by the rewards and the trappings in higher ed. So if you think about it, a lot of the things that I talked about scarcity and competition and the Hunger Games and focus on exclusivity because we don't know anything better in terms of a marker for quality. It's like rankings, and if you look at research awards, like our culture, we have these values that maybe aren't always the best. Some of them are good, some of them could be improved. And scarcity, we think, brings out the worst in all of us. It makes us hide the ball, it makes us not share, and it frankly will prevent us from actually solving the big challenges facing our students and facing higher education. So instead, the UIA wants to be generous. We think that scarcity takes us and brings us to a place of contracting, and we want to expand, we want to give. And so we're trying to model behavior, we're trying to be the thing that we wished existed. So that's happening in a few ways, and we're trying to serve the community. So one of those is by, trying to actually be this really scary public experiment that might not work. Seeing if scale and getting universities to work together and building these projects that are really complicated and very hard. And I thought it was going to be a light switch, and gosh darn it. So the work that we do, that I've told you, has not actually worked yet. Adding and creating events that we think raise your standards that will hopefully change how the diffusion of innovation happens. And doing research that we think will add to the field. So our First in the World project, because there had only been one study on academic advising in the What Works Clearinghouse, which is horrifyingly embarrassing. And the last is, or the second to last, is creating the leadership that we want in the future. That's what the Fellows Program is about, is trying to actually change who leads our institutions and to give them the skills that they will need. But the last piece is that what we know is that there's a certain kind of behavior that we want to see, and we see it every once in a while, and when we see it, we want to acknowledge it. And so we created an award because we felt that there are certain types of people who are really making a difference in our sector. There are people who are stepping up, who are being generous, who are out doing the shuttle diplomacy of giving speeches at random locations, who are being willing to really shepherd ideas between us and to raise our eyes up to the horizon and consider new possibilities. And it's those who are actually, instead of just trying when they have a good idea to make it just their good idea, to make it other people's good idea and to actually build community. So 2 years ago, I told you the other night, we created this award because we saw Tim Rennick doing this, and we thought that there needed to be an incentive for more people, and when people do the right thing, we want to acknowledge them, we want to celebrate them. And then last year, so the first year we gave it to Tim Rennick, and the award is the National Leadership in Student Success, Innovation, and Collaboration. And last year we gave it to Dr. Candace Till at Stanford, who's now at Amazon, but it was because she started the Open Learning Initiative that has been groundbreaking in terms of how we teach statistics. And this year, we want to give it to someone who has brilliant and revolutionary ideas, but the knee-jerk response was not to just make it about them, but to actually try and build a community that we think has the powerful chance to really transform how we advance new work in higher education and to inspire and connect other campuses. And that is someone you just heard from. Mr. Michael Sorrell. Dr. Michael Sorrell is our recipient this year, and I'm hoping that he is near. So the National Leadership in Student Success, Innovation, and Collaboration Award is presented by the University Innovation Alliance to Michael J. Sorrell. From Paul Quinn, there you go.
Gee, maybe I should have saved some stuff. First of all, let me just say thank you. I've been president at Paul Quinn for 11 years, and 11 years ago and 10 years ago and 9 years ago, people laughed at me, right? Because higher education isn't a welcoming place. It is a place full of elitism, full of judgmental people who mock that which that didn't come from the places they came from. And I didn't know that, right? I mean, because I have an elite higher education. I mean, all my schools are the schools where you guys want to work, or some of you want to work, right? And where lots of you have gone. And I remember what it was like to sit in a meeting and have a sitting college president tell me that my school should have never hired me. I remember what it was like to be rejected. And no one should feel that way. No one should experience that. Now, I'm not telling you that because I want you to feel sorry for me. I'm telling you that because I want you to stop it, right? I'm telling you that because you have some colleagues who do that. Not y'all, right? But we're not going to be who we need to be unless we realize that all of us have a seat at the table. All of us belong. That just because I have 85% of my students who are Pell Grant and you have 15%, that doesn't make me better than you. Just because you have $1 billion endowment and I have a $1 million endowment, that doesn't mean that your ideas are better than ours. What it means is that we arrived at this moment in time together. And maybe since we're here together, we should work together. And if we are going to work together, then we have to allow for the possibility that sometimes someone else is going to be right. And sometimes you're going to be wrong. That's okay. It doesn't make you any less brilliant. It doesn't make you any less wonderful. It doesn't mean that you aren't popular. It doesn't mean your children don't love you. Okay? What it means is that all of us together are better than any of us individually. And that's what we're trying to accomplish. So as I take my seat, I just want to say two more things. First of all, those of you in institutions that have enormous amounts of resources, I encourage you to embrace the work of the day. We live in a society where poverty is ruining us, where people don't have the basic necessities that they need. And we can do something about that. We have the ability to do something about that. But that might mean that we have to do research that doesn't produce million-dollar grants. That may mean that the conferences that really matter to us are the ones that maybe everyone doesn't dream of going to. We have to do more for people who may never come in our doors, because the idea of not doing it is unacceptable. The second thing I want to say to you is, it truly is an honor to be your colleague. It is an honor to share this moment in time with you. I'm going to always push you. I'm going to always challenge you. I'm going to always question if you are doing enough. Not because I don't love you, not because I don't believe in you, but because I do. And I believe that if you are pushed, if we are all up, and I hope you will push me, and I hope you will challenge me, because it is through those challenges that we become our truest, best selves. And the only way our society becomes the society we dream of is if we all become our truest, best selves. So I thank you for this award. I am a little shocked that the winner last year now works for Amazon. I mean, Google, here I come, I guess, right? But thank you very much, and I wish you nothing but success.